Hi everybody, this is a short video called HiveNightmare bug in access list of registry hives. Basically this video is about a simple introduction and explanation about this bug and how it could be utilized. If you check the latest tweets on Twitter, you basically found out that there is some bug. I think that it was found out by Jonas L. And he found out that there is a bug in read access of registry hives like SAM or system. And the bug is that basically user only can read the content of this registry hives. So it's very critical, and this video will be about explanation and some simple scenario how one can utilize this bug. If you check the Jonas L tweets, or maybe I highly recommend to read tweets from Benjamin Delphi, who is basically creator of Mimikatz. He has quite plenty tweets about this bug and how one can utilize it with Mimikatz. Now I want to basically show you how you can check if your system is vulnerable. Jonas L basically posted tweet about Windows 11, but later it was found out that Windows 10 is vulnerable too, that the bug is there too. So how you can check if your account or if your system is vulnerable? Basically, you can use this utility ACLs to basically it will print you the access list of the file. So we can use this command and jump to our tested VM. PowerShell and to that, and we can see that we are vulnerable because you can see here that built-in users have read access to this registry hive. We can use also the system info and find out what version of Windows 10 I'm running, and you can see here the version 10.0.18363. If you check the internet, you can see that it's Microsoft Windows 10 version 1909, and it's still vulnerable. Basically, if you check the tweet posts from Benjamin, he created some list of vulnerable Windows 10 somewhere, and basically the information there is that almost all from version 18.09 to latest through Windows 11 are vulnerable to this bug. So we can close this, and okay, so you know now that your VM or your system is vulnerable. So what to do next? Basically, you can copy the reg hive in a simple way. You can use PowerShell, copy item, literal path, and path to shadow copy. Why shadow copy? Basically because path or to Windows System 32 config system to registry hives, which are vulnerable to read access, user only. These registry files are locked by the system because they are in use. So how you can copy them? Basically, you have to use path to volume schedule copy. A volume schedule copy is something what you can create with restore point. Yep, basically a volume schedule copy is system protection. Yep, system protection. And if you want to create a volume schedule copy, you can do it by with a admin utility, or you can use this graphic user interface create, and you can specify the name and other stuffs, and you will create the volume schedule copy. On most of your system, basically system protection is enabled. I think that it's enabled on a system which has space larger than 128 gigabytes, I think, maybe. But on most of your system, it will be enabled. So how you can find out the path to the volume schedule copy? Because you can see that I already know. Basically, you can already know that you have some volume schedule copy which has this path, hard disk volume schedule copy too. But if you don't know, you can just brute force the last number. and try to root for list from the largest one to the lowest, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because you want to get the latest volume schedule copy. How you can copy the system Hive? Basically, you can use the PowerShell command let copy item or literal path to the Hive and destination. And for this scenario, I created two scripts. One is the script in PowerShell, basically called exfil HiveNightmare, and the second one is HTTP web server post. This PowerShell script is basically one which exfiltrates the Hives and to some command and control server. And this second script in Python is basically the command and control server, which processes the post method from the exfiltrating PowerShell script. And here is the mimikatz command to basically dump the NTLM hashes and link to a website which is able to crack the NTLM hashes if some weak password was used. And this is basically I will show you, because in this scenario we will be using these two scripts to dump the NTLM hashes, and after that we crack the NTLM hashes and use the password for connect to RDP. So yep, this is our victim VM, and let's jump to this folder, and you can see here are two scripts. These two scripts are downloadable from my GitHub website, and the link to the scripts are also included below my below this video in the description, so you can download them. You can try it by your own, it depends on you. So as we can close two, and let's jump to this folder. You can see these two scripts. So let's jump to the exfil HiveNightmare PowerShell script. I will show you how does it work. Basically, this script only gets the IP address of the victim, and here is the basically you can see that it's looking for IP address which is has interface Ethernet, and address family is IPv4. And basically in other steps it will read all bytes from you can see path is volume schedule copy and from some registry Hive, and it will convert these bytes to base64 string here. The same is done for the system registry, read all bytes and convert to base64 string. And here I create the body, which basically contains IP address, some registry in base64, and a system registry in base64. After that, it will invoke the HTTP post request to my command and control server, and the body is this information, and method is post. And this is basically very simple exfiltrator. And you can see the other script is Python script, which is basically the command control server, and it basically processes the post method from the exfiltrator. You can see that on post it basically read all bytes and create new file data.bin and write all bytes from the body of the post method from the exfiltrator and save it to data.bin. And that's all. So first of all, we have to run our command and control server, HTTP web server post, and it's running. Nice. Let's jump to our VM. I already prepared here the PowerShell script, but you can imagine that this PowerShell script could be converted to exe file, or it can be put to some macro code, VBA, to some document and other stuff. So yeah, it could be used in different way. But I want to show you PowerShell. Yep. And I already showed you that we have the access rights for SAM. We can do the same for the software or system registry Hive, and we can see that we have both read access as a user, built-in users read access to these Hives, and this is basically the bug, yeah, because it's very critical how one can use it. Basically, you can copy the content of these hives, exfiltrate it somewhere, or copy them to USB flash drive, and after that you just copy that to some machine where you have Mimikatz and Windows Defender or some antivirus disabled, and you will use the Mimikatz to dump the NTLM hash. After that you can use the NTLM hash of administrator account to basically do the privilege escalation, or use it to crack the NTLM hash to obtain the password and use this password of administration account. Nice. So now what I wanted to do is basically, yep, you can see here, first of all, who I am, who am I, and you can see that I'm the test, Sam. So let's check in what group I am. And you can see that I'm the only user. I am only user. So we can check what other users are in this computer, and you can see there is some user virus anonymous. Let's check the virus anonymous. Virus anonymous. And you can see that this account is in group of administrators. So basically we are interested in this account NTLM hashes. NTLM hash. So now it's time basically to use my PowerShell script. As I already show you, that it will exfiltrate, it will copy the SAM registry and system registry from volume schedule copy and exfiltrate it to my command and control server, which is already running. And how you can do it, basically just go to path desktop, and run the xfil HiveNightmare. Press OK, and what you can see, the response was exfiltrated. Okay, and you can see here that in the command control server there is the post and the response 200. Okay, nice. So you can close it. And now basically you are compromised because you run the script and the SAM content and software or the system registry content was exfiltrated to a command and control server, which basically can be done from the user-only account. Let's minimize it and check. Here is the response data. The data.bin, the exfiltrated registry hives and other stuffs. So we can close this command and control server and check the content. We can check the content, and you can see that basically first on the body of response is IP address of the victim. It's very important because if you want to attack this machine later, you would need some information about this machine, like a computer name or domain and IP address and other stuff. But for this scenario, I need only the IP address. So here is the IP address, and here is the content of SAM registry hive in base 64, and here's the content of system registry hive in base 64. So just copy this content, copy that, go to CyberChef and convert it from base 64. Yep, it's converted, and save it, save output to file, and let's rename it to sam.bak. Okay, and save it. Now do the same for the system hive. So just go to hex editor, and here is the system hive in base 64. So let's mark it all. Okay, copy the content and paste it to the CyberChef. Now from base 64, and you can save it to some file called system.bak. Maybe you can use some .NET methods and or Python script to decode the base 64, but this is quite enough. save output to file, and system dot back. Okay, and save it, and it's all. Now you can minimize it, and go to Mimikatz, Win64, and go to downloads, copy these two files, and copy it here. You have SAM registry and system registry. How you can use it in Mimikatz, go to PowerShell, and basically I already created the command here, but just run the Mimikatz. I created the command here for you, and it's prepared here. Basically, you dump the NTLM hashes, and you have to specify the path to system registry Hive, and you have to specify the path to SAM registry Hive. Just copy this command and go to PowerShell here, Mimikatz, and enter. And what you got here, you can see that there are quite a plenty of information, but we are interested in the NTLM hashes of, you can see the virus anonymous, which is basically the administrator account, and you can see here also the test SAM, which is the user only account. But we are interested in this. Just check the NTLM hashes, and virus anonymous has this kind of hash. Copy that, just go to crack machine or crack station, copy that, and I'm not robot, crack hashes, and if the password is weak enough, it will be able to crack it via some tables and other stuff, rainbow tables, and some databases of already cracked weak passwords. And you can see that the password is admin. Nice. How you can use it? You can just, for example, you can use nmap or other stuff, so basically to scan the victim, because you have already the IP address of the station. You can see it here. The IP address is this one. So you can use nmap, and if it's a public IP address, you can scan open ports, and if you are able to recognize some services, you can probably use the password, or you can use the NTLM hash to remotely sign in, or to log into some service. So I'll copy the IP address, and let's use it like test net. We will be basically just check the open ports of RDP is if it's enabled. Test net connection, computer name is the IP address, and port we will only scan the port 3389. Which is basically the default one for remote desktop service. And we can try to test the connection, and if this port is open, there is quite a high chance that the RDP is enabled. Yep, and you can see that it's open. So how you can use it, basically you have here information about, well, here. You have here information about account, administration accounts here, and you have also the hash, also the not hash, also the password. So let's go to RDP, remote desktop service, remote desktop connection, and you can see here is the IP address, connect. Okay, so first of all, show options, and we don't know this one, for example, connect, and okay, virus anonymous, and it's just want to use some password, admin, we already cracked this one. Okay, and we connect to the another user is signed in. If you want to continue, there will be disconnect. Yes. Yep, you can see that it's waiting for response to test SAM. Basically, you can see it here. If you just jump to the VM, you can see remote desktop connection, blah, 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 blah. No action will disconnect your yeah, okay. Seems okay. And if we jump here to remote desktop connection, you can see it's logging in. And we are here. Now let's check who we are. So who am I? You can see we are virus anonymous account, and if you check net user virus anonymous, and we are the administrator, and that's it. And that was basically a little explanation and some simple scenario about how quite critical is this vulnerability. Basically, you can use it for privilege escalation, you can use it locally, you can use it for remote. You don't have to. Also, there is very important thing about this, that you don't have to use it. You don't have to use a clean password. You also can use only the NTLM hash. So for example, if this hash is not crackable, basically the password is it's not weak password. So it's also possible to use NTLM hash, no problem. And that's all. Basically, the bug is in read access of users' accounts, which have basically read access to a system and some registry hives. And this is very critical, and it was not here before. So just be careful, and I hope this video covered all I wanted to do. And thank you for watching. See you next time.